Let them call you a gold digger. Please let them call you a gold digger. If you clicked on this video, it's because you know that you deserve more. You also understand that the world doesn't always like that you know that you deserve more. I know for a fact that you do not want to be burned out, and you shouldn't have to be. If you have dreamed about a life where you get up whenever you want to get up, you have the bags you want to have, you can stay at home and nurture your children if you want to have children, or you can choose not to have children and still live the hottest life you ever want to live. If you've dreamed about having those things are out there. We only imagine certain futures for ourselves because they are possible and because our bodies and our souls want them to be revealed. But society doesn't like that you want that to be revealed. So when you realize that you do not want to succumb to being some burned out woman who's splitting bills 50-50, who has to work when she's 8 months pregnant, and when she gives birth to the kid, she has to go straight back to work, you know you don't want that. Most people don't dream about that, and that means it's not meant for you. Society does not like the fact that you understand that you want more. You just being honest about the fact that you want more, you want princess treatment, you want to be treated like the queen you are, that actually makes society uncomfortable. You just being honest about it. This is why it is extremely important that you grow comfortable with the uncomfortability of people telling you what they think you are, who they think you are, and the fact that they don't think what you're doing is a good idea. When you're a woman who wants princess treatment, who wants to be treated like a queen, who wants to have a life that does not give her burnout, maybe you're a neurodivergent like me and you know that a regular 9-to-5 job is just not going to cut it for you. You're going to have to get comfortable with the fact that people are going to tell you that the life that you want is going to be impossible. You're going to have to get comfortable with people saying, oh, those are only dreams. Oh yeah, you want a fairy tale? Most importantly, men telling women that they're gold diggers for wanting more than scraping below the bottom bare minimum. The first thing a man is going to do when he is not secure in himself is that he's going to try to drag down a woman who is secure in herself. He's going to do everything in his power to crush any little dream that you have because it's going to make him feel more powerful. And is also going to keep him from actually acting on his insecurities and figuring them out and becoming a powerful man. The only men who will ever call you a gold digger are men that have 0 gold to dig. Only men who will ever call you a gold digger for wanting your necessities taken care of in the company of a man are going to be men that are not ready to take responsibility for having a relationship. And there's nothing wrong with not wanting to take responsibility of caring for a woman in a relationship. That's fine. Go be a bachelor. The reason they call you a gold digger is actually not because you are. Because what are you going to do? Go steal all of his money, leave him on the curb, point at him and laugh? If you want a better life for yourself, you're also going to be respectful. Reason why men tell this to women is because they want to make you act on your morals and make you feel like you're going against what is morally correct in society. That's why they paint a picture of that women that want to be taken care of and that want more than the bare scraping the bottom barrel level of bare minimum. That they're evil and they're gold diggers and they're some witch who's gonna steal everything a man has got. Because women do not want to be seen as evil. Women do not want to be seen as bad. So what they do is when some guy tells them that they're a gold digger for just wanting more than the bare minimum, they lower themselves. When you realize that you want more in your life, your frequency naturally starts rising because you're tuning in to what your heart desires. Start thinking about how nice it would be for you to wake up whenever you want to wake up. You think about all of the things that you would love to see when you can travel anywhere you want to go. You think about all the beautiful dresses you can have in your wardrobe. Your frequency rises because you see possibility. When your frequency rises, the people that are down here get really, really uncomfortable because suddenly there's a gap between you that they can't fill. And let me tell you, there are a lot of men who are actually down here. And the reason why there are a lot of men down here is because they do not want to take responsibility for themselves. They're stuck having a victim complex where they believe that they're owed and they're entitled to having a woman, regardless if they can do anything for her or not. They think it's your duty to be that way for a man. That's why these men will always say, what about broke guys? Don't they deserve love too? I'm sure they deserve love, but you just don't want the type of life that they can give you. You're not compatible. Your frequency is here. You want more. Their frequency is here. They don't want to do more. what's going on? Like, you guys are not compatible. These guys see that you're not compatible with them, and it makes them very, very uncomfortable. Because when their frequency is low and your frequency is rising and you're working on yourself, you're realizing what you actually do want in life, you become less indecisive, you become more focused, your path looks clearer. Your frequency is gonna rise even more. Essentially, it's kind of like you're climbing up a cliff and the guys who are calling you a gold digger are like at the end of the cliff. They don't want to climb the cliff. They don't want to prove to you that they can also climb the cliff and be your equal or whatever. They want to stay at the bottom of the cliff and shout to you that you're a gold digger and you can never get anything better. You'll never find better than me. Oh, you think you're all that? You're not beautiful enough to be taken care of. Men will see your real self soon enough. All of that. They'll shout that after you while you are moving up the cliff. But the thing is, you can still hear them even if you're moving up the cliff or the mountain. So now you're moving up the mountain, your frequency is becoming higher. You're tuning into what you actually want, your desire, and you're getting up there. But you can still hear the faint shouts of them saying, you're a gold digger. You can never make it up there. And the further you get away and the more you hear them say it, you might start doubting whether you can actually make it to the top of the mountain, where you do get taken care of, where you do get princess treatment, where you are treated like the queen you are. Life that you dream of that does exist. They don't want you to see that that exists. They're scared that you're going up that mountain because they know it exists. They just know that they can't facilitate it for you. They're not going to climb up the mountain to meet you. They're comfortable. They don't want to take responsibility. They see that you're taking responsibility. Maybe you will take yourself off the dating market. You stop using dating apps. You stop accepting coffee dates. You start being very clear about the fact that you do not want to be intimate with people unless it's actually serious. Guys are going to tell you that you're a gold digger and you want too much. You'll never find a man who wants to do that for you. When you are going up the mountain of frequency of you pursuing the life that you truly have, the test that you're essentially going through is whether you can persist even though people are telling you that the life that you want does not exist. You need to trust yourself and say, I know you guys are telling me that there's nothing on top of this mountain, but I'm going to go up there and I'm going to see for myself. They know that there's something on top of that mountain, aka your dream life. They know when you heighten your frequency from here till here, they can't reach you anymore. You can't even hear them. When you get to the top of that mountain, the people, the men down there that are calling you gold digger, you can't even hear them anymore. They won't be able to reach you. And that scares them. And this is the test you actually have to go through in order for you to be able to get that life. You have to be extremely comfortable with people calling you a gold digger, and you have to keep moving regardless. When people call you a gold digger, it is so important that you do not sink on their level, go back down to tell them, you know what, I'm not a gold digger. I'm morally right. I'm a good woman. Because that is exactly what the men that are shouting at the bottom of the mountain are trying to get you to do. Because in order for you to react, you have to go all the way down from the progress you've made of ascending the mountain. And you have to go down to the bottom of the hill and you have to tell them, oh, you know what? I'm a good woman. I'm not a gold digger. And then they have won because now you're at the bottom of the mountain again. When you heighten your frequency, the people down here, their frequency cannot rise to your level and it's going to be uncomfortable. And the uncomfortability is going to make you want to lower your frequency, not them want to higher their frequency. It's going to make you want to lower yours. This is so important to understand because you want to close the gap. So what you do is that you lower your frequency in order to be closer to match theirs, in order to validate them. Because when they're screaming, you're a gold digger, you want too much, they're actually saying, I want validation. I want you to tell me I'm right. I want you to show me I'm right. And when you go down the mountain from all the progress you've made down to their level of frequency, you are abandoning yourself. You're abandoning your efforts and your dreams and your desires to people please them, to validate them, to tell them that it's okay, I'm not bad, I'm morally okay. If you want that specific life that you're dreaming about, you have to get comfortable being called a gold digger, especially when you're trying to make your way to the top of the mountain, when you're trying to heighten your frequency. When you get to the top of the mountain, you can't hear them anymore. And that scares them so much. And the reason that this scares the men that are calling you a gold digger is because then they no longer have access to you. They can no longer use your behavior as an alibi that supports that you should settle for them because broke men deserve love too. They want to have the alibi that women cannot do better. The whole idea that broke men deserve love too is an alibi that men heavily reinforce and make themselves believe in because they do not want to take responsibility. They do not want to level up. They do not want to do more to be able to provide more for a woman. But they still want the woman. Of course they do. There's nothing better than a woman. They want their cake and eat it too. So when you suddenly ascend up on the mountain and you make it a little too far where now you can't even hear their shouts anymore, and you might even make it to the top where now you're taken care of by a man who actually loves you and who wants you to be happy and not burned out, this scares the men because it proves to you that there are actually men out there that are willing to take care of you. It shows you that whatever they were trying to tell you is a big lie. You can never get this. You're a gold digger. You'll never get more. There are no men out there that exist that will do that for you. Don't you think you want too much? When you get to the top of that mountain, you will see that you are not asking for too much, that you deserve everything that you wanted. And now these men feel really, really bad. The men down here. Because they knew they were lying. They knew they were lying from the beginning. And now you've seen the truth. Now you know there are women out there who are taken care of. You're even taken care of. And now you will never, ever, ever settle for a man down here ever again. You're going to stay up on your mountain. It's like when you go from flying economy to flying private plane. When you start flying private planes, you have enough connections to know that you're not going to fly anything else again. The people from economy can't tell you that you should go back to economy. Why would you listen to them? That's the same thing with these men. They know they've been lying to you. And they also know that the alibi that they were trying to create for themselves, the way that they were trying to brainwash themselves to believe that they didn't need to do anymore, it's not true. It's really, really confrontational for them. It is extremely confrontational. It makes them extremely uncomfortable because they realize that they can't just play the victim. And it's very important that you understand that men who say that broke guys deserve love too have huge victim complexes. And hanging around someone with a victim complex will set you up to have a victim complex in the long run. Because when you're a morally good person, you will want to lower your frequency to their level to take care of them. And then they're going to drain you from everything you have. And then you're going to end up feeling like a victim. If you hang around men with victim complexes, you're going to end up getting a victim complex yourself. You're going to end up believing that the whole world is against you the same way that these men believe that all women are against them and that women just want to steal all their money and tell them that they're bad. You're going to start believing that about yourself, and you might even start believing that about men too. And now you're going to stick to your guy who's telling you that you can never get any more. You're going to overexert yourself for him and pay half the bills, go to work 8 months pregnant, go to work right after you're done birthing the kid, make him meals, take care of him physically. He's just going to be playing PlayStation in his room, saying that you guys are equal. These men with victim complexes, they want you to stoop down to their level because it reinforces their alibi. But the thing is, the love you give a man who has a victim complex, it's not really love. It's charity. It's out of mercy. And when you're doing something out of mercy, it's never actually going to truly make you happy because you're giving to someone who's only interested in taking. That's the same thing if you're a woman and you want to get princess treatment, you want to be treated good, but you insist on making it seem like you're helpless. You want to wear your sweats. You never want to do your hair. You never want to do your makeup. And you think some guy is going to come and make you his trophy wife because you showed how hard you had it. No, he's going to think of you as a charity case, and that's not really going to be fulfilling. This is the same with a guy who has a victim complex. These men are so dangerous, and they're going to pull you below the surface of the earth into the boiling, burning center of magma inside the earth. Because you're going to be like, oh, I'm so sorry for you. Of course you deserve love. Of course broke guys deserve love. And you're going to tend to him like some hurt little dog. And that's not going to make him want to do more. He's going to be like, oh yeah, bet this woman is going to come tend to me if I play weak. I'm just going to keep playing weak. I'm going to keep telling her that this is the best she'll get. And then she'll tend to me and tend to me and tend to me. And eventually she'll start telling herself that this is the best she's going to get. And by that time, she's not going to be able to leave. This has happened to a lot of women. I know for a fact that my mother's generation has been very exposed to this. And they try to justify the life that they're living. When you need to justify the life that you're living, trying to make people believe that you're good, look at how good I am leading my life. Then you're actually not really living a good life. You don't need to justify your life if you're really leading a good life. These women have a lot of resentment towards younger women, and these women also have a lot of resentment towards themselves because their inner desire, their heart's desire is still in there, but they've buried it so deep that it feels like a big knot in their body, and they just try to bury it even more and even more and even more. But this knot hurts so much within their body that they actually feel like they need to scream. They need to react. This is why a lot of mothers are going to tell their daughters that they can never get better. This is why they might tell you, are you sure that's going to be fulfilling for you? People don't try to bring you down unless something you're doing is threatening them and is very powerful because it's showing something that they want. They want these things too. They just can't admit it because they've dug themselves so deep. They've created their own alibi about the fact that broke guys need love too. Now they feel like they can't leave because they're afraid of being the bad guy. The same goes for men. The men that are telling you that you're a gold digger for wanting more and wanting better, they secretly want to be in the position of the man who's able to give their women everything. They just don't know how to get there, and they don't want to make the effort to get there. They don't want to sacrifice their own ego to get there. So they're going to continue telling themselves lies. Not only are they going to tell themselves lies, their subconscious desire to be able to take care of women the way that these powerful and rich men do, the men who have a provider mindset even, that is their knot in their stomach. And this knot hurts so bad. And they try to repress it and they try to repress it and they try to repress it to the point where they can't anymore and it bursts out of them. They have to react. They have to be verbal. They have to cover the noise of their inner desire by shouting into the world that women are gold diggers, that you can never get better. In reality, them shouting, you could never get better, or telling a woman you'll never get better than me, is them telling themselves, is their subconscious fears telling them that they can't get better and they will not become better. They're trying to suppress their true desires so much. Their desire to be able to be the powerful man who's able to facilitate the good life for a woman. To the point where their body is going to make them uncomfortable. And instead of thinking, oh, this uncomfortability might be because I'm not tapping into my higher purpose, they think it's because the women are doing something bad. When they see a woman who's well taken care of, they want to call her a gold digger because it pokes at that inner desire they have to be able to facilitate that life for a good woman. But they think it's the woman's fault. They don't think it's their inner desire. The way that they try to calm it down and keep it down is to be verbal until next time they're triggered again. The only men that react outwardly when it comes to women setting standards are the men that have a desire to be able to meet those standards, but they can't. The men who are perfectly fine living a life where they cannot live up to those standards, they do not bother with calling women gold diggers. And the men who can actually live up to those standards, they don't want to call women gold diggers either. They don't need to. They already validate themselves. The same thing goes for the women that try to tell their daughters or other women that they can never get a husband that takes care of everything is because they have that desire within them. If they were a woman who was perfectly comfortable with going to work and she didn't want anything else, or if she was a woman who already had everything taken care of, why would she want to tell another woman that she couldn't get the life that she wanted? Only people with a specific desire that they're trying to keep down, they're trying to drown, that they're trying to hide away, are going to be vocal about why you shouldn't get it. Because they're trying to make a case for themselves for why they shouldn't chase their own desires. This is why it can feel really overwhelming being the type of woman who actually stands up and is honest about the life that you truly want. And I'm not saying you're standing up and shouting it to the whole world, but just you working on getting it. You making yourself look beautiful every single day, doing your hair, wearing nice jewelry, you not accepting coffee dates, you gatekeeping yourself and keeping yourself at home and working on your mentality, your knowledge, you taking yourself on nice dates. You taking yourself on nice dates instead of having to be out, to be clubbing, to drink drinks at some guy's table just to get free drinks. The world is filled with people that are not chasing their desires. And by suppressing their desires, they have to be verbal. They have to correct other people. If you were truly working on getting the desire you wanted, why would you tell anyone that they couldn't get that desire? That would be like telling yourself that you couldn't get that desire. Only people who are not willing to go for the desire that they have are going to be verbal about the fact that you can't get it. And a lot of people in society are not honest about following their own desire. Even the women that are resentful towards women who want to have a life where they're taken care of. This is why when you want to be treated like a princess, when you want to be treated like a queen, when you want to have a man who takes care of you, you need to get comfortable with people calling you a gold digger. Your purpose is to make it to the top of the mountain. You should not back down till you have seen for yourself. And people will try to shout at you and shout at you and shout at you to get down, to console them, to promise that you're good, to make you stop your progress. This is why you have to be very vigilant with anyone you're around. I'm not even just saying men, because there are women too that want to pull you down. There are so many women that have been caught up in the nastiness of these men that say that broke guys deserve love too. Now they have a victim complex themselves. Now they think they need to be a pick-me in order for them to get anything. These women are on the same level as the men that are down here when it comes to their frequency. And they're also going to shout at you when you're trying to ascend the mountain. This is why it can feel so loud and overwhelming when you become aware of your desires, especially the desire to be taken care of, the desire to be a trophy wife, the desire not to be burned out. And this is also why you might have to cut out a bunch of your friends and a lot of your family members when you're trying to get this specific life, because you do not need to hear their opinions. And if they try to tell you that you can't get it, maybe you should think twice. It's because they have some sort of desire within themselves that they do not want to fulfill. You need to be more alone and more secluded when you want a life that has a certain standard, because your journey of climbing up the mountain has to be done by yourself, not through the validation of others. And most people are not going to actually want to validate the life that you want. They're going to try to validate themselves, which is what drags you down. Your journey to the top of that mountain is going to be lonely, and it's for a reason. You are going to go for it, and you're not going to settle for less. It is your journey to make, because having people with you is going to slow you down, because their doubts are going to become your doubts. And you know what's really scary? Being alone with your own thoughts and having to realize that you're going to have to validate yourself, that the life that you want is yours to create, it's yours to follow. That's why that second half of climbing up the mountain, where you no longer can hear the muffled voices of people telling you that you're a gold digger, that part actually might be more scary than people telling you that you're a gold digger, because now it's just you and your validation, and getting the validation from the universe that you are following the desire that you want. Because the only validation you ever truly need is the validation of the universe. And the universe is abundant. In the universe, everything is possible. The universe is so big and so great. Why wouldn't it be possible? That is the only validation you need. This is why when it comes to you getting the life that you truly want, aka princess treatment, being treated like a trophy wife, not having to work a day in your life, it is extremely important that you get off these dating apps ASAP. Because dating apps is you feeding into the game of validation. As soon as you enter yourself on any dating app, is you saying, give me validation. Not asking the universe to validate your desires, but asking common people that are not even in contact with the universe to give you validation. And when you enter onto a dating app, especially when you're a woman and you are dating men, these men are going to see you as an option. As soon as you are on a dating app, you are technically, in their eyes, an option, which means that energetically, they're going to feel like they can claim you just by looking at your pictures. And you're going to be more inclined to let them claim you because you already went over the boundary of putting yourself in the validation circus that is dating apps. You already went so far to put yourself on a platform that's all about validation. So now it feels a little weird if you do not play into the game. So you're going to bend your desires to validate people because you do not want to be seen as a bad person. And it's much easier for people to get to you there to try to lower your frequency. We've all heard horror stories about people going on dating apps and guys sending them horrible messages, telling them the most disgusting stuff in the whole world, super liking them just to tell them something that is absolutely horrendous. The thing is, as soon as you put yourself out there on that dating app, these men feel like they have energetic claim to you. You're just another woman in their pool of women. When you want to become the woman who is taken care of, the trophy wife, the woman who does not have to worry, you have to take yourself out of that. You have to be comfortable not being liked. You have to be comfortable not getting validation. Even the validation that is that men are texting you, even though that they're texting you terrible things. When you retract yourself from dating apps, your frequency has the space to be able to grow. As I told you before with the mountain, climbing up the mountain and you can still hear the guys shouting. When you go on a dating app, you're going to have more guys shouting at you because you already signed up for the dating app where the premise is that you reply to each other. You feel like you've entered a contract of you having to reply to people and you don't want to break that contract. So you're going to lower yourself. You're going to go all the way down from the progress you made up the mountain and you're going to go down and you're going to interact with either by blocking them, by telling them off, by swiping through all the men down here. And then you're going to have to make your journey all the way up there again until you start getting messages again. And then you're going to have to go all the way down. It's going to tire you out so much. You're going up and down and up and down and up and down. Eventually, you're not going to want to go up anymore because you feel like you always get dragged down. And then you're just going to be like, well, then I might as well just settle for some guy that says that broke guys deserve love too. Some guy who literally sent you rude messages. And then you're going to end up becoming the resentful woman who never went for her desires, who also shouts at women that are trying to make it up the mountain, that are trying to go for their desires. Because you're going to end up getting a victim complex because you settled and you didn't go for what you wanted. If you don't go for what you want, you're going to get resentful. As soon as you start going for what you want, even if it takes time, you're not going to feel as resentful anymore because you know that you're trying to do something. But you do not want to get stuck down here. So delete the dating apps ASAP. You're not going to be able to make it up the mountain if you don't. There are so many women down here that have so many victim complexes. There are no good men out there. All of my exes are narcissists. Men are terrible. The reason why they keep attracting the bad, narcissistic, victim complex, hate themselves men is because they're at the bottom of the mountain with the men that are shouting at the women that want more, that they can't get more. You're at the same frequency as them because you're resentful. You have a victim complex. You haven't solved that. So your only pole of the people you're going to be able to date is going to be down here. In order for you to actually get the man who's not going to be a narcissist, you're going to have to let go of your ego and say, you know what? I'm going to take responsibility. I'm not going to be the person who stands at the bottom of the mountain shouting that women can't get that type of stuff. I'm going to go see what that mountain is about and I'm going to start climbing it. Then your frequency rises and you'll start to see more possibilities. You'll start to see more men that actually want to give you what you want because you were open-minded. You weren't so fixed about the fact that things were a specific way. You were like, I bet it can be better. I don't need to tell myself that all men are narcissists. I don't need to tell myself that everyone's terrible and wants to treat me terribly because it's just going to keep you recycling the same pool of people, the same energy, the low frequency. And then of course you're going to end up running into narcissists. They're in the same frequency. They don't want women to go for their dreams and you don't want women to go for their dreams. Of course you guys deserve each other. So exit those dating apps right now. And you might say, what am I going to do? Where am I going to find a good man? When you start channeling your inner trophy wife, whatever it is, the type of life that you want to live, the universe is going to start sending that your way. You might have to put yourself in better situations and environments anyways. Maybe you start going to nicer cafes, to the art museum, or wherever aligns with the trophy wife lifestyle that you want to live. When the universe sees that you're ready for it, they're going to send you someone. You don't have to worry about the how. You should never worry about the how. You should just worry about climbing to the top of the mountain, aka assimilating yourself with the life that you want to live. And as you journey more and more up the mountain, your view is naturally going to get much more clearer. So you don't have to worry, you just have to keep going. Let me say it again. You don't have to worry about the how. When you start ascending the mountain and aligning yourself, being open to the journey it is going to be, the more you go up the mountain, the more your frequency rises, the clearer it's going to become. You just have to keep on moving forward. When it comes to keeping on moving forward, you have to be comfortable with people calling you a gold digger. Actually, you might even have to be happy about the fact that they're calling you a gold digger because it's the universe's way of giving you the test of whether you're going to go down the mountain and console people or whether you're going to keep on climbing the mountain for yourself. So when people tell you you're a gold digger, you can't get this, no man will ever do that for you. Look into the sky or close your eyes or whatever it is and say, thank you so much. I love it. Because then the universe will see that you did not go back. You did not lower your frequency. You're ready for more. You're taking so much responsibility for yourself. You're showing you have the ability to respond in a different way, of not people pleasing, of not consoling, of saying it is what it is. And now you're moving on. You're climbing that mountain. And the path to you getting the life that you truly want is just going to become clearer and clearer and clearer. As long as you keep on climbing, and even if people keep on shouting that you're a gold digger, You know that it's just a test you have to pass in order to get your desires and be treated the way that you deserve.